Swagatam sarvebhyaha bhavadbhyaha. Welcome, most welcome to all of you, especially Shivashankar, Annapurni, Sujata, and others. So let's begin. Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo me Sannidhattam Sadahridi Santastriranga Charanatrana Shekharaha Jayanti Bhavanatrana Padapankajarenavaha. So let me recite the first verse of the Prabhava Paddhati, third chapter. Vande Tadranganathasya Manyam Padukayor Yugam Unnatanam Avanatir Natanam Yatra Chonnatihi. So we go to the next verse of the third chapter, Prabhava Paddhati. So we have seen so far up to 36th verse of Prabhava Paddhati. Now we are going to the next verse, 37. Let me read. So ihaye bhavatim bhajanti bhaktya kritinah keshava paduke niyuktaha kathaya hamba tirohitam tritiyam nayanam trini mukhani vakim esham. Just as a surprise as well as reality, Swami Vedantadeshika is questioning the divine sandals of Ranganatha. It is usual or habitual on the part of the poets to add some questions in the middle, and that is for making the subject interesting. And therefore, so he says he addresses the divine sandals as usual, of course, with the different epithets of Sri Ranganatha. So Keshava Paduke, O Ranganatha's divine sandals. Keshava Paduke. Now what I understand, here, that is in Srirangam. That is after worshipping Ranganatha, his divine feet and his divine sandals. People who come to Srirangam from other places, so they what do they do? So here, or even sometimes iha meaning in this world, in this earth, when they are lucky people who are here to worship Ranganatha, the divine feet and the divine sandals, are lucky, fortunate enough to be of service to the divine sandals. Maybe they are appointed in temples, so they have the luck of getting job in a temple, or even it is at home, there is no difference. So some people also are appointed to perform Aradhanam, Thiruvaradhanam at home also. The home makers, householders, also call them and appoint them as the doer of puja. And therefore, so he is asked, Swami Vedantadeshika is asking the divine sandals, Bhavatim bhajanti ye, those who meditate on you, Bhavatim, you, the respectful you, Ungalai, bhajanti, when they go on meditating on you, how do they meditate? Bhaktya. So when they have a lot of devotion towards the divine sandals, what will happen? They become lucky people. Kritinaha. They become fortunate lot. And what do? they go on doing service to the divine sandals. Rather, the divine feet attached to the divine sandals. So, in fact, Ranganatha. So, Niyuktaha, they are engaged, they are busy, they are appointed. So, those who with devotion worship or meditate on the divine sandals in this world, they become very busy and lucky to continue the worship either in the temples or elsewhere. Now he is asking the question to the divine sandals. The author is asking, Kathaya, please tell me. Mam Kathaya is understood. Or please tell us. Asman Kathaya, please tell us. Amba, O mother. So Paduka is, as said earlier on many occasions, in a Strilinga Shabda, a feminine gender word, Paduka is considered a goddess, just like Mahalakshmi, and therefore there are two goddesses, twin goddesses, or pair of goddesses, with a pair of sandals. Therefore, Amba, O mother, so because you are called by me as a mother, because you are affectionate to the devotees. Since the devotees are getting employment through you, they are appointed through you because of their devotion. You bless them with some job, income, and all other facilities of life. Now tell me whether they have been elevated to high posts like the Lord of Creation, namely Chaturmukha Brahma and three-eyed Lord Shiva. So this is like rather a little humor on the question, but at the same time, it's a reality. Namely, the priests of the temple, the Bhattacharyas of the temples, especially Srirangam or anywhere else, are regarded as the God himself. We invite them to our house, then we worship them, we adore them, we honor them, we gift them, we engage them, we involve them in our daily special rituals. They are called to our residences. So that means we respect them as we respect the God. So as all of us know that the Taittiriya Upanishad says, we must respect our parents as gods, Matra Devo, Pitru Devo, Bhava. Acharya Devo Bhava. Now we consider the priests of the temple, the Bhattacharyas of the temple as our preceptor. So all of us become Acharya Deva. In the house, we are to be Matra Devaha. So we must worship our mother. We must favor our mother. We must serve our mother. We must serve our mother in all spheres. We must ensure all-round welfare of our parents. So we must worship our father, regard our father, give respect to the father. So next to the parents, we have the Acharya. So we invite the preceptors from the temples who are serving there as priests, and they are considered as God himself. And we prostrate at their feet. So we bow down, fall at their feet. We do Sashtanga Namaskara and therefore consider them as God. Vedantadeshika is just humorously asking, or have they become Lord Shiva and Brahma? How do you understand that they have become Lord Shiva and Brahma? They have become high in quality, nobler in status than all other ordinary human beings, and they are also worshipable. How? Just asking the question, should we not see the third eye in the people who are devoted to the divine sandals? Is this true that the third eye has been hidden from my view? That's what Vedantadeshika is asking. Tirohitam. So, katham tirohitam? How can I understand that the third eye, tritiyam nayanam, the third eye has been hidden from my view? How do I not see the third eye of the devotees? Because the devotees have become as auspicious and as great as high as Lord Shiva. And I don't see the other three faces also. When I consider them, those people who serve the temple as priests, that they are like lords of creation, Brahma, Chaturmukhas. So, where do I see the other three faces? I'm not able to see all the other three faces. So I can see as a human being only one face in the priest's physical frame. So the Bhattacharyas should look like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma with the four faces. So Kim Tirohitam. So is the third eye hidden? Last line, Kim Mesham. So Kim Mesham Tritiyam Nayanam Tirohitam. Is the third eye of these people hidden from my view? Or Kim Trini Mukhani? So whether the three faces have been hidden from my view. Meaning that those who worship the divine sandals of Sri Ranganatha will always become great gods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. So this is let me recite again the 37th verse. Ihaye bhavatim bhajanti bhaktya. Very little alliteration you can see in all the three words. Ba is the first word. Bhavatim bhajanti bhaktya. The ka letter also is Kritinaha, Keshava, Kathaya, and so on. Kimesham. The first letters of the words. So this is not, of course, very interesting alliteration, but it has some. Ihaye bhavatim bhajanti bhaktya kritinah keshava paduke niyuktaha kathayam tirohitam tritiyam nayanam trini mukhani vakimesham. Yeah, one of the priests, young priests, who was my student in the college days, used to come home and learn Parameshwara Samhita from me, which is the prescribed text for the temple of Sri Ranganatha's Agama procedure. So in the Pancharatra Agama procedure, we have Lord Shiva's book called the Parameshwara Samhita. He has prescribed, Lord Shiva has prescribed the rules and regulations, the methodology, how to go about, what is the process of the Thiruvaradhanam and so on. So when the Bhattacharya wanted to learn from me, I started guiding him. So why I say this is, though he is young, he is worshipable by elders. The elders also fall at the feet of the priests so that they consider them as gods. So the priests are considered very respectable, as though they are Ranganatha, the personification of Ranganatha. And we can also take the priests as the divine feet of Ranganatha and divine sandals. And therefore, we worship them, we adore them, we honor them. So this is the 37th verse. Now, this is not, of course, very high humor, but this is a question posed to the divine sandals, so that the divine sandals say, yes, Amam. Namely, my devotees will have an elevation in the post as even Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. Let me go to the 38th verse now. So, Madhuvairi parigraheshu nityam Kshamaya tvam manipaduke sameta tadapi kshamasena kim paresham tridasha adhishwara shekhare nivesham. This is also another question. So this is the second question in this Prabhava Paddhati. So the question again to the divine sandals. This is little away from ordinary. This kind of deviation is usual to the poets, and it is just for imagination. It is just for enjoying the greatness of the divine sandals. So he is asking the divine sandals, addressing them like Manipaduke, hey Manipaduke, oh gemmed sandals. So when I say gemmed sandals, there are two meanings as you know already. Namely, the sandals are practically the gems inlaid, embedded there. The jewels are there, the gems are inside the Paduka, and they are visible also. They make the sandals beautiful also. At the same time, they are the best sandals. Manipaduke, gem of a sandal meaning, that means the best, the highest, the noblest. So Manipaduke, you can also call Mani as Ranganatha. So Ranganatha is the highest Lord, best Lord. And you also know the basic birth of Sri Vedantadeshika, namely, since his mother Totaramba had a dream of swallowing the bell of the temple of Srinivasa at Tirupati, and you know, Vedantadeshika has a title called Ghantavataraha. So Ghanta is bell, and that is called in Mani in Tamil. So that means you are my sandals. That is, you are you. I love you, and therefore you are my sandals. I bow to you, the sandals. You belong to me. So because Ranganatha belongs to me, his divine feet belong to me, and therefore you also belong to me. So Manipaduke. Now, the first line is a general statement, and it has got two meanings. And the second line has got what we call a question, I told you. The question is just imagine it. So now, hey Manipaduke, O divine sandals, are you not patient? Are you not exercising titiksha, we say, Sanskrit, porumai in Tamil? Are you not tolerant? Why? Nityam, forever. So what do you do? Kshamaya sameta. You are always attached to the ground, earth, this world. Why? All of us know when Ranganatha or even we as individual souls wear the sandals, so our feet do not touch the earth, the floor, the ground, whereas the sandals touch the earth. So what about the earth? Now when you ask the quality of Sri Ranganatha, Ranganatha is none other than Lord Rama, as you know, because he has sandals here. Only in this temple you find that the divine sandals are attached to Sri Ranganatha, Ranganatha's divine feet. Therefore, we consider him as the real Rama. So Rama is called, the quality of Rama is called, according to Narada's answer to Valmiki's questions. So Valmiki gives a list of 16 questions, 16 qualities, and he wanted an example of possessing all these 16 qualities in the earth at his time. Valmiki, at his time, he wanted a contemporary person possessing all the 16 qualities. So when the answer is given by Narada, the sage, he says, Shamaya Prithvi Samaha. Rama, the Lord, is always patient, tolerant enough to bear, he is ready to bear, just like the earth. Shamaya Prithvi Sama. In patience, he is as good as earth. So what is the patience of earth? So when we use the earth, for example, personally speaking, we use the shoes. Most of us use the shoes either for rather conditions or by climate. We are used to the shoes, and then we stamp our legs with the help of the shoes on the earth hard. That we are not supposed to do, but still, when we walk, when we run, when we move fast, so we stamp on the earth. That means we are actually kicking with our shoes the earth. The earth is a goddess. The earth is a goddess which bears us. She is our mother, as all of us know. She is Mother Earth. We call our country also motherland. So the motherland we are kicking. So this is personal, individual, particular example. But for the sake of our food, any type of food, we get all the items from the earth. And we dig there with all metallic instruments, sharp instruments. Even if they take the tractor, modern tractor, we use electronic instruments to till the land, and of course plow the land, sow the seeds, raise crops, and then we produce food, and then we take food. We are happy to have food. So all the food items come from the earth. And what do we do in order to bring out the produce? Because we always trouble the earth. And when we do that, what is called violent action, then the earth does not retaliate. The earth, in fact, gives us more food, gives us more fruits, gives us more advantages because we trouble. So, in the case of our household also, in our family also, as children, we all give trouble to our mother, but the mother favors us, the children, with all types of facilities. Food is main. She prepares food and affectionately gives the food. In spite of it, we find fault with the food. We scold her. We pick holes with her. So the mother is always affectionate. Shama meaning earth. Shama is name for earth also. Shama means patience, as all of you know. So, Tvam Shamaya Sameta Nityam. Oh, divine sandals, you are always attached to the earth, practically by touching the earth. At the same time, you are also Shamaya Sameta. You are always patient. You are tolerant. You bear any trouble. You bear any suffering for us. Where? Madhuvairi Parigraheshu. Among all the objects accepted by Lord Ranganatha, who is called otherwise here, Madhuvairi. Madhu the demon, Vairi the enemy. So Madhuvairi is Lord Ranganatha, who was the enemy of the demon Madhu, and Kaitaba also, a twin demon. And then they had to be literally extirpated for the harm done to the scriptures. Therefore, the parigraheshu, whatever has been accepted as the creation of the Lord, Ranganatha, or says Lord Sriman Narayana, Tvam Nityam Kshamaya Sameta. Now remember, these are the 5 gross elements created by the Lord. Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha. These 5 words all of you know. Namely, the first one is Prithvi. So Prithvi is the earth in the list. Prithvi is the earth. Up is water. Tejaha is light or fire. Vayuhu, the wind, air. Akasha, the space, ether. So here, so all these 5 gross elements, Pancha Bhutani, have been created by the Lord. And among these 5, O divine sandals, you are attached to the first one, Prithvi. So that means Chama. That means you are patient, you are tolerant, you bear troubles. Now, when you have so much patience, now my question is this. In the second half, Swami Vedantadeshika makes what you call an interesting question. Tadapi, even that, nakim chamase. Are you not tolerant? Are you not excusing? Are you not forgiving? Are you not pardoning? What? Tridasha Adhishwara Shekhare Nivesham. So what happens is this. We know that in the temple of Ranganatha, all gods, demons, human beings, all come together and worship. And whenever the temple is open, the doors are ajar, then all devotees come. All devotees include gods, demons, and human beings. And among the gods, what do they do normally? When they go about roaming in heaven, when they move in heaven, they have the umbrella over their head to show that they are kings. For example, Indra, the king of gods, Varuna, the god of rain, Kubera, the god of wealth, Agni, the god of fire, and so on, Vayu, the god of wind, and so on. So all of them wear some headdress. That means they have people adoring them, and they have what we call chauris to be used as fans, because they come as what we call in a procession of kings. So they are all Adhishwara, Tridasha Adhishwara, Tridasha Adhishwara, Tridasha. They have got only 3 statuses in life. They are born, they are in childhood, they are in childhood, then they become adults, then they become youths, and then become adults. There is no 4th stage like us. Old age does not creep in to their life. So Tridasha is 3 stages of life, namely gods. There are so many words in Sanskrit, at least 12 words for gods. So Tridasha Adhishwara. Among the gods, there are lords, leaders. So that's why we call them Tatya. There are crores of gods. For each crore of god, you have a leader. So Ashwin, 2 Ashwins. Then Rudras, 11 people, 11 leaders called Rudras. So 12 people who are called Adityas. You can say sun, say. So Adityas. And then Ashtavasus, 8 people called Vasu. So totally 32. So 32 leaders are there. Tridasha Adhishwara. So when they are lords of gods, for each god you have 1 crore followers. And therefore, so each of them want to show their paraphernalia. That means they hold the umbrella over their head. But as soon as they come to this temple, if they wear crowns, they remove the crowns. If they come with an umbrella, they just fold the umbrella. and then come to the sanctum sanctorum, get the shatari on their head, that is the divine sandals on their head, placed by the priest of the temple. Then they don't have umbrella over their head. So they don't have any headdress other than shatari. They don't adorn themselves with a crown, and then the shatari is not placed on the crown by the priest. So only on the head. So just over the head, the shatari is placed. Divine sandals are placed. So what happens here? So they remove all other paraphernalia, and because they bow down and worship with a lot of devotion the divine sandals, they wear as their ornament, head ornament, only the divine sandals. So when they wear only divine sandals, Swami Vedantadeshika is asking a question, pertinent question. O Manipaduke, O the divine sandals, do you not feel patient enough that the gods' heads are not adorned by umbrella? So why do you become jealous over the heads of the gods, that you got the umbrella and all other headdress ornaments removed, and you are there on their head? So is it out of jealousy, or is it out of envy? Do you not bear the vision of umbrellas on the heads of lords of gods? It's just a small question. So Nivesham, if they have umbrella as usual on their head, Kim Tvam na kshamase. Don't you be patient enough to tolerate the presence of umbrella on their heads? So how is it that I find you jealous? It's a way of poets imagining and giving what you call their ideas in an interesting way. So Madhuvai, let me recite 38. Madhuvairi parigraheshu nityam kshamayatvam manipaduke sameta tadapi kshamasena kim paresham tridashadhishwara shekhare nivesham. Now, paresham, for the enemies also, you can say. For the enemies also. The demons are enemies of gods. And if the shatari is on the heads of either enemies or generally meaning others, paresham meaning others, so of others, that is on the heads of others, then if umbrella is placed, some other head ornament is placed, a crown is placed, why do you feel envy? That's the, why are you envious? Why? So you must not feel jealousy towards the gods, because you are attached always to the earth, which is patient. So when you have a company, namely the goddess of earth, so because Paduka is also a lady, so the lady has got another lady as a good company, namely goddess of earth. And when you are ever attached to that, why don't you inherit the quality of patience from the earth goddess? That's what he's asking. So let me, I think, recite again if you want. So Madhuvairi parigraheshu nityam kshamayatvam manipaduke sameta tadapi kshamasena kim paresham tridashadhishwara shekhare nivesham. So let's go to 39. Dvitayam pratiyanti ranga bhartuh katijit kanchana paduke sharanyam abhayanmitam agrimam karam va bhavati shekharitam padambujam va. We saw earlier also 3 times repetition of the letter va, the word va, which also meant there question tag as well as or rather, sorry, cha, and. So here also the va becomes cha, and also api. Now, Swami Vedantadeshika wants to establish the fact that the divine sandals of Ranganatha and the divine feet of Ranganatha are one and the same. Rather, you can go further one step, namely, look at the divine hands of the Lord in the temples. They will be showing like this. So downwards, the palm, the right palm, showing the downward position. That means, so you would have particularly you would have had the vision, darshan of Uppiliyappan, rather Srinivasa temple in Uppiliyappan Koil near Kumbakonam, Tirukudandai. You will see the letters also. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. These letters will be in gems laid, golden jewel. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. The right hand will show the divine feet. So the divine feet, in fact, are represented by the divine sandals. So you can take it as the divine feet are shown by the hand. So there are four hands. One of the right side hands holds the discus, wheel, chakram, sudarshanam. The second, the left hand, upper hand, the left side upper hand holds the panchajanyam, the conch, it's called shankham. And then the other two hands, the left lower hand may have the gada, the mace, and the right hand will have what we call abhaya hastam. So it will assure protection to all of us. It will remove our fear. So a card gives us the fearlessness by the right hand. And so one out of the four hands, Chaturbhujam, Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopi Shanti. So Chaturbhujam, so out of the four hands. So one of the hands, it shows the divine feet. So when it shows the divine feet, then it means the divine feet will protect us. The divine feet will give fearlessness. So now the people come to the temple. So all of us are now in the temple. All of us are near the sanctum sanctorum. Some people, some of us devotees consider, so katichit pratiyanti. Some of us believe, pratiyanti, have faith. So dvitayam sharanyam. Generally, we in all other temples, as all of us know, so we worship the divine feet of the Lord. So what do the devotees do? Some of the devotees, so remember that there are two objects which give them fearlessness. How? So dvitayam pratiyanti. Dvitayam, so two types of protectors that the devotees consider them for surrendering. And they feel that Rangabhartuhu, so you can take the word Rangabhartuhu in two ways. Rangabhartuhu Kanchana Paduke, four divine sandals made up of gold. So already we saw the gold. So when we say gold means costly, valuable, and so on. Therefore, Kanchana Paduke, the two divine sandals are made up of the real metal, yellow metal, namely gold, plus they are the best one. So gold sandals. That means the best sandals. Rangabhartuhu, the king of Rangam. that is Srirangam. So Ranga Raja, Bharta, husband, master, leader, so many words, so many meanings are there. So Ranga Bhartuhu, so Rangaraja's Kanchana Paduka, or divine sandals, gold sandals of Sri Ranganatha. So Ranga Bhartuhu Abhayanvita Agrimam Karam. So have the vision of Ranganatha in the Namperumal Utsava idol, Divya Mangala Vigraha. Abhayam, protection. Bhayam, fear. Abhayam, protection. Anmitam, Abhayanvitam, associated with the symbol, expression, what we call bhava, agrimam karam, the front hand, the hand that comes forth in front. So Abhayanvitam agrimam karam, cha and so va is not here meaning or, again as usual, also. Bhavati Shekharitam Padambujam va. Padambujam va. Pada, the divine feet. Ambujam, the lotus. So the lotus-like divine feet of Ranganatha. So both. So Dvitayam Pratiyanti. Katijit, some devotees. Dvitayam Pratiyanti. They believe in two objects for protection. Number one, the hand which shows the protection expression by showing the divine feet and the divine feet. Padambujamva. Then what is the connection between the divine feet and the divine sandals? Bhavati Shekharitam. Because they are on you. Because the divine feet of Ranganatha, the lotus-like divine feet of Ranganatha, are ornaments to you. Bhavati Shekharitam. Shekharam, Shikha, you know, you would have heard about Shikha means hair, lots of hair. Shikha means tuft, kudumi. Shikha means talai mudi. So Shekharam is ornament on the head, on the lots of hair. So Bhavati Shekharitam, your ornament. So what is your ornament? So what is the head ornament of the divine sandals, the divine feet, the lotus-like feet of Ranganatha? Padambujam Bhavati Shekharitam. So there is a connection between the divine feet and the divine sandals at all times. Sorry. So some people consider, so it is Swami Vedantadeshika's considered opinion that he is one of those few people that they consider always the divine feet of Ranganatha will give us the protection, and divine hand of Ranganatha, which shows the divine feet as a protector. So, Abhayanvitam Agrimam Karam. Now, the important now here in this verse 39 is given to the divine sandals, because the hand, the divine hand of Ranganatha shows the divine feet. The divine feet happens to be the ornament, beautification for the divine sandals. And therefore, what do we deduce? We understand that both the hand and the divine lotus-like feet of Lord Ranganatha point out to the greatness of the divine sandals. So that is how we understand. Dvitayam Pratiyanti Ranga Bhartuh Katijit Kanchana Paduke Sharanyam. I think I missed the word in Sanskrit, Sharanyam, but I told you in many words in English, namely protector. Sharanyam is the protector. Sharanyaha is the protector. And Sharanyam, what is considered Sharanyam here? Either the Karam or the Padambujam, according to the letter Va, or both the hand, Karam, and Padambujam, the lotus-like feet. So both of them, the hand and the lotus-like feet, are our protectors, Sharanyam. Sharanyaha is in Pullinga Shabda, masculine gender word. So also Karam, Kara is Pullinga word. Of course, Padambujam is Strilinga. Samanya Napumsakam is what you call formula in grammar, and therefore we can use that way also. So in plural it becomes Napumsakalinga, neuter gender. Sharanyam, the protector, Sharanya and the protector is both the hand and the divine feet. And since the divine feet are attached to the divine sandals, eventually, finally, absolute protection is given by the divine sandals. So we have the 40 to go to be explained. Bharata Ashvasaneshu Padashabdam Vasudha Shrotra Samudbhavo Munindraha Pathati Tvai Paduke Tatastvam Niyatam Ramapadat Abhinna Bhuma. Let me read again with Sandhis split. Bharata Ashvasaneshu Pada Shabdam Vasudha Shrotra Samudbhavaha Muni Indraha Pathati Tvai Paduke Tataha Tvam Niyatam Ramapadat Abhinna Bhuma. Now, previously we saw that some devotees think that there are two objects to protect them, namely the hand that shows the direction of our goal, namely falling at the divine feet of Ranganatha. And since Ranganatha's divine feet are always attached to the divine sandals, so our refuge, our shelter is divine sandals. They considered two. Now you find Swami Vedantadeshika's idea that the divine feet and divine sandals are same. The two divine sandals and two divine feet. Both of them are equal to each other. You don't distinguish between the divine feet and the divine sandals. Because generally, as we know, we use the shoes, sandals, our footwear most of the time outside the house, and even sometimes inside the house. So we use to separate slippers, and we always wear sandals. So they are inseparable, and therefore we can say Bhuma, the last word. Bhuma, the greatness, the richness, the wealth is not different. So Bhinna is different. Abhinna Bhuma is the greatness of the divine feet, and the divine sandals are not different, is not different. Abhinna Bhuma. How? Ramapadat Abhinna Bhuma. Now he addresses the sandals here as just Paduke. Hey Paduke, O divine sandals. Now he mentions the name of Ranganatha in the incarnation. Ramapadat Abhinna Bhuma. Rama. The word Rama itself, as you know, has got two meanings. Ramate iti Ramaha, Ramayate iti Ramaha. Rama means, one meaning is handsome person. The second meaning is he is happy with himself. Third meaning is he makes others joyful. Now we attach all these three qualities to the divine feet and the divine sandals also. So the greatness of the divine feet lies in the affection towards the people shown by King Rama. In the kingdom of Ayodhya, Kosala kingdom, Uttara Kosala kingdom, Rama's affection to the people knows no bounds, knew no bounds. And then Rama was the name uttered by all people in the kingdom, and they loved him so much, and he was so lovable he was so affectionate with the word what I call vatsalya, as a father to the children, as a mother to the children. Even Raghuvamsha Kalidasa says, Pita Prajana. He uses the word Pita Prajana. The king is like a father to the citizens. So he must take care. He must be lovable. Rama Paddhati, since the divine feet of Rama make us happy, and it also made Bharata happy. So by worshipping the divine feet, we are happy. And therefore, Rama, the word, which means make others happy, he makes others happy. Rama Pada also, the divine feet also make others happy, the devotees happy. So the greatness is not different. How? Niyatam, surely. Surely the greatness, the wealth, the opulence of the divine feet of Ranganatha, Rama here, are not different. Tataha, therefore, so tvam, what do you do? Niyatam pathati. So when the divine sandals are equal to the divine feet of the Lord, then what happened to the story of Ramayana? Bharata, Bharata, the next brother of Rama, without wishing to become the king of Uttara Kosala kingdom, got angry with the mother, and then came along with his fourfold armies and all the subjects of this kingdom to the forest where Rama resided, requested Rama to come back to Ayodhya without caring for the truthful boons gifted by Dasharatha to Kaikeyi. So Bharata pleaded to Rama to come back to Ayodhya. And how did he do it? So he fell down at the feet of Rama. And he considered that the divine feet of Rama are very important to him. And therefore, he wanted Rama to walk back to Ayodhya. So he used only the words divine feet, divine feet. All his thoughts were on divine feet of Rama. So in order to appease, rather remove the longing in separation from the eldest brother, namely Rama, you find in Valmiki's Ramayana that the great sage, Munindra, the lord of the sages, Muni Indraha, Muninam Indraha, Indraha leader of all the sages, Muni. So Bhagavan Valmiki was the sage who wrote Ramayana. What did he write? So he, where was he from? Vasudha Shrotra Samudbhavaha. We saw at least 2 or 3 times the name in the first chapter, Prabhava Paddhati, that he came out of the ant hill, and therefore he was called Valmiki. The original name was Ratnakara, and he was nicknamed Valmiki. So Vasudha, the earth, Shrotra, the ear, Karnaha, Samudbhavaha, he came out. So he came out of the ear of the earth. The earth's ear is called ant hill. Valmikam is called personified as the ear of the earth. And therefore, Vasudha Shrotra Samudbhavaha Munindraha, Valmiki, the great sage, the leader of all sages, who came out of the ant hill, which happened to be called as the ear, EAR, of the earth, Vasudha, he used only while Bharata took the sandals back to Ayodhya and placed them on the throne, and he remained in a village called Nandigrama. Valmiki referred to Padukas as Pada only. Valmiki was particular about identifying the divine feet of Rama with the divine feet, divine sandals. Therefore, he did not mention too many times Paduka, but he mentioned many times the word Pada. Pada. Only the divine feet are, the word for divine feet are used by Valmiki often, so frequently, that you find that itself became the solace for consolation for Bharata's grief over separation of Rama. So why did Valmiki use only the word divine feet instead of divine sandals, Paduka? Because it satisfied Bharata. Bharata for 14 years did not feel very highly, rather feel very strongly the separation from Rama, because the very divine sandals of Rama were considered by Bharata as the divine feet of Rama. Therefore, he always imagined, Bharata imagined that the divine feet are near him than the divine sandals, more than the divine sandals. So he considered them, honored them as the divine feet. So what we mean to say is, we already saw Swami Vedantadeshika's idea that the divine feet are none other than the divine sandals. The divine sandals are ever associated with the divine feet. And therefore, so let us not make a distinction difference between the divine sandals or the divine feet. So, Pathati Tvai Paduke. So, when we read Ramayana, when we read about Paduka in Ramayana, we understand that the greatness of the divine feet are not different from the greatness of the divine sandals. Tataha, therefore, Tvam Niyatam Rama Padada Bhinna Bhuma. So only when we read Ramayana we will understand that frequently instead of the word Paduka, the Pada is used by the author, and therefore we understand that was enough for appeasing the grief, bringing down the sadness of Bharata. Let me recite the last verse and can ask some questions and have your opinion. Share your views, give us feedback over the mail and so on. So let me recite the last verse. Jayati iti raja sukti, Jayati mukundasya paduka yugali, taduvaya dhanas trivedim, avandhayanto jayanti bhuvi santaha. Kavitarkika simhaya kalyana gunashalini, Shrimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. So this is a practice that we do every time when we read a book of Stotram like this. So we recite the first verse also again. I forgot the earlier occasions during the earlier sessions. So that means we want to continue to read it again and again. Santastiranga Prithvisha Charanatrana Shekharaha, being the first verse of Padukasahasram. Jayanti Bhavanatrana Padapankajarenavaha. Dhanyavadaha. I can have Valmika. Okay. So I'm happy that some of you arrive in time, some of you early, and I request all of you to be present in time. In English, there is what we call punctuality, and we have always humor over our Indian punctuality. And my professor of education used to say, will you be more punctual or will you be less punctual? In the sense that there cannot be what we call more punctuality and less punctuality. There's only one punctuality, that is in time. Punctuality means right time. So happy to know that there are at least increasing number of people, and so let me wind up the session. So we will meet tomorrow at 5 again, same time. We will continue to 41 of Prabhava Paddhati, third chapter of Sri Padukasahasram. Thank you so much.